Scared bros, grab your blankets and cover up tight. Today's horror movie is Deadstream. Here he comes. Sean is an outdoor streamer who was canceled for pulling excessive publicity stunts. Today is his first live stream since his comeback. He will spend the entire night alone inside a haunted house. Before entering the haunted house, to prevent himself from chickening out at the last minute, he threw the spark plugs from his car into the bushes. Then he explained the origin of the haunted house to his fans. Rumor has it that in 1880, a woman named Mildred mysteriously committed suicide inside. Since then, this house has been cursed. A total of 11 people have entered this house since, but without exception, they all died strange deaths. And the state of the corpses looked as if they had been gnawed on by rats. Rumor has it, these people all became evil spirits in the house. Just as Sean was chatting, a stick figure on the side gave Sean a jump scare. Just to be safe, he placed a motion sensor camera outside the house, which he can monitor in real time via the tablet in his hand. Then Sean violently pried open the door with a crowbar. After entering the room, what comes into view is weird graffiti and a mess on the floor. To ensure he wouldn't run away out of fear, Sean locked the door from the inside and threw the only key down the sewer drain. Sean made ample preparations before coming here. He followed the map to Mildred's master bedroom. He first fixed a camera to the wall, then explained to everyone. It turns out that in the second year after Mildred's suicide, a couple moved into the house. The husband wrote in his diary that ever since moving in, he would have the same dream every night. In the dream, he saw a shadowy figure staring at him from the corner. Just like that, after being tormented for a year, one night the man committed suicide, and a federal agent once took a photo containing a ghostly shadow. Just as Sean was comparing the photos, a noise came from the closet nearby. Sean realized something was wrong and quickly ran out of the room. Then he remembered he was still live streaming, so he explained that encountering this for the first time inevitably makes one nervous. Then netizens commented, asking Sean to cleanse the souls inside the house.
Find rest. Hell no! I'm not an exorcist, Lily King 98.
Sean then arrived at the staircase. Mildred had hanged herself right up ahead. For the show's effect, Sean took out some pre-prepared horror music. While going upstairs, Sean explained to the audience. He stated that the second floor is even scarier than the first. Because out of the 12 people who died, more than half died on the second floor. And in the nursery room in front of him, 5 children died inside, including 2 newborn babies. The room was in shambles, and even the window was open. He suspected something might have entered or exited through here. For safety's sake, Sean installed a camera in this room as well. After installing the camera, Sean went to the last room to explore. He said the bathroom was where the last murder occurred. A woman was drowned alive here. Strangely, since then, the water in the bathtub has never disappeared.
I would never.
After Sean finished installing all the cameras, he was ready to summon the evil spirits. He chose a room where no paranormal events had been reported, then took out his laptop, planning to make this his base camp.
This room is now Wrath of Sean headquarters. A closet!
You know, movie ghosts love hiding in these places. To be cautious, Sean opened the closet, and a wooden board on the side caught his attention. He took the board down, then said, if anything happened to him tonight, it must be related to this board.
If something happens to me tonight, I guarantee it'll be because of this thing!
After setting everything up, Sean chatted with fans in front of the camera. But the fans felt he was straying from the essence of exploration. If he didn't look for some thrills, they would leave the stream. Seeing this, Sean quickly waved his hands, then took out a pre-prepared spinning wheel. A casual spin landed on the seance option. Sean planned to go to the nursery for the summoning. He comforted himself that if there really was a ghost, it would just be a child, so he wasn't afraid. On the way to the nursery, Sean continued telling everyone Mildred's story. Turns out, the day before the wedding, Mildred's husband died unexpectedly. Mildred was heartbroken so she hanged herself in this corner on her wedding day. Sean deduced that Mildred might be collecting souls, trying to create the happy family she desired in life. Then he found a doll under the bed, but the doll looked really creepy. Sean decided to use the doll as a medium for channeling. He placed the doll on a chair and started the summoning ritual. He clasped his hands, chanting words in his mouth. After chanting, he looked around. Everything seemed normal, but just as he was complaining, a banging sound came from overhead. Sean was scared and ran back to the safe room. After frantically closing the door, Sean took out his tablet and started explaining the situation. But the viewers thought it was just a show effect and found it exciting. Sean felt the urge to pee. He turned over a metal bucket and released a large amount of urine into it. Then Sean took out his laptop. The scene before him terrified him. The monitor captured a ghost resembling a pregnant woman, seemingly coming to Sean's room. Sean turned his head to look at the door in horror, then quickly dodged into the closet. The netizens, enjoying the drama, demanded Sean go out and check. Sean felt the urge to pee again, firmly stating he would absolutely not go out until the sponsor threatened him. With no choice, Sean had to open the closet and go out to check. He took a prepared cross from his bag, then pushed the door open.
What was that?
Sean quickly ran back to the room, accidentally stepping on the wooden board from the closet. He angrily stomped the board to pieces. Just as he was about to grab a stick for defense, a knock came from outside the door. Opening the door, he saw a woman in blue standing outside. Seeing she was a fellow human, Sean excitedly hugged her. The woman's name is Chrissy. She followed Sean's live stream clues all the way here. She wanted to explore the haunted house with Sean. Although Sean was suspicious of her origin, he didn't think too much about it. His mind was filled only with thoughts of leaving this creepy place.
Why? I thought you needed the money.
You can't pay me enough to stay here.
Even with the record amount of views?
Serious?
Then Sean opened his laptop, and the number of viewers had surprisingly skyrocketed to 3.9 million. The massive traffic instantly went to Sean's head. He launched a poll to decide whether to let Chrissy stay, and 80% of fans wanted Chrissy to stay. Of course, this suited Sean just fine. After all, having a living person with him was much safer than being alone. Sean then put a camera on Chrissy. They went out the door one after another. Chrissy suggested exploring the first-floor bedroom first. She was curious what the ghostly shadow in the corner looked like. But as soon as they reached the door, the tablet suddenly malfunctioned. Turning around, Chrissy was nowhere to be seen.
Chrissy! Seriously? Chrissy!
Chrissy strangely appeared at the doorway. This made Sean so angry he cursed. "Act tough and I'll make you fly. I'll show you what a nightmare is." Seeing Sean was genuinely angry, Chrissy said she just went to look for ghosts. Sean then set a rule for Chrissy. The two of them must never separate in the house. Then, Sean checked the bedroom feed. Everything inside seemed calm. He pushed the door open. Sean first checked under the bed for anything. Chrissy heard a noise from the closet. After a careful inspection, Sean found a hidden door inside. After opening it, it revealed a staircase leading to the basement. Sean braced himself and walked down. It smelled terrible down there. Soon, they found a treasure chest below. Sean rummaged through the chest and found a locked box inside. He assumed there was treasure in it, so he decisively put it in his bag. Next, Sean found a book in a hidden compartment. The contents of this book were Mildred's diary and poetry. Sean read a bit, then remarked that the poetry was terrible. He didn't notice Chrissy's expression change beside him. Back upstairs, Sean began the seance ritual. Chrissy asked him to read the poems.
No, they're boring.
They're not boring.
Chrissy, this is my show.
Sean said the poems were trash, but after the incantation was read, Nothing happened in the house. Then Chrissy said she knew a spell that works very well. If he chanted with her, maybe Mildred's ghost would appear. A noise suddenly came from upstairs. Sean was scared and quickly checked his tablet, finding the sound coming from the bathroom. Chrissy suggested they check it out together, but Sean cowered in fear. The live stream audience wasn't happy, calling Sean a wimp. Seeing this, Sean claimed he was much braver than Chrissy. He said so, but in the end, he let Chrissy go to the second floor alone. Just as Sean looked down at Chrissy's camera feed, a cabinet nearby suddenly moved. In a blink, Chrissy's camera on the tablet turned into static. He clicked on several other cameras, but Chrissy was nowhere to be found. Sean suspected something happened to Chrissy. He hurriedly packed his things and went to the second floor to find her. Strangely, even though the doors were open, the rooms were empty. Chrissy was gone. Sean was scared out of his wits, cursing at Chrissy. He also began to suspect Chrissy's identity. He clearly remembered locking the house, so no one could enter from outside. So there was only one possibility. Chrissy was inside the house all along. Agitated by Sean's words, Chrissy stopped pretending and bit Sean's neck. Seeing he was about to be bitten to death by the ghost, Sean grabbed a wooden stick nearby and stabbed it into the ghost's neck. Danger temporarily averted, Sean ran into the safe room and told netizens to call the police. Then he plucked up the courage to go back to the hallway. Strangely, Chrissy's body had disappeared. Sean ran back to the safe room in fear and checked the playback on his tablet. Terrifyingly, there was a woman hanging in mid-air in the corner, and that was Mildred, who had committed suicide. Just then, a kid sent a video. Through his research, the wooden totem Sean found in the closet earlier was used to suppress evil spirits. The reason the safe room had no paranormal events was likely due to the totem on that board. Sean was stunned to learn this. He didn't expect he had personally released the evil spirit. But there was no choice. It already happened. Action was the only chance for survival now. Sean walked toward the first floor while watching the monitor. Just as Sean was about to reach the stair corner, Mildred strangled Sean's neck tightly. Sean's consciousness began to fade. At this critical moment, Sean suddenly exploded with strength and threw the ghost down to the first floor. While the ghost was stunned, he hurried to the door. But the main door was locked, and he had thrown the only key into the sewer. In desperation, Sean reached in to fish it out, but fished out a different key instead. Seeing the ghost about to wake up, Sean had to hide behind the sofa. At this moment, viewers in the live stream urged Sean to try using that key to open the wooden box from earlier. Sean had nothing to lose. Unexpectedly, it actually opened the box. Inside was a photograph, and the woman in the photo was Chrissy from earlier. Realizing he had been played by the ghost all along, Sean was instantly blinded by rage. At the same time, a fan uploaded a video. In the video, the fan's family member stated that they had placed the wooden board in the closet. To fight Mildred, Sean needed to sacrifice his own flesh to create a new totem. Knowing the method, Sean played his battle music. He smeared garlic on a stick, then taped a demon-subduing stake to it. Finally, he drew a vial of holy water. Sean marched upstairs aggressively. He found the butcher knife hanging on the wall again. Mildred was nowhere to be seen, so he went to the upstairs bathroom. The evil spirit in the bathtub grabbed Sean's neck. Sean grabbed the curtain nearby, suffocating the spirit, then injected the holy water into it. Before long, the evil spirit in front of him kicked the bucket. After dealing with the bathtub ghost, Sean took out the diary. He threw the diary out the door to lure Mildred. Then he checked the monitor and found Mildred at the door, having moved the diary. Seeing this, Sean decisively pulled out the butcher knife. He opened the door and chopped at the ground. But Mildred had been waiting on the ceiling for a long time. She pounced on Sean, smashing him heavily onto the floor. Seeing he was about to die here, Sean desperately grabbed a knife nearby and slashed fiercely at Mildred. Sean knew Mildred wouldn't die so easily, He put a camera on Mildred's head to track her movements. Then he drew a totem in the room. Not long after, Mildred, lying on the floor, slowly woke up. She found Sean hiding behind the table, his feet sticking out. She walked over triumphantly.
Surprise, bitch!
This was all part of Sean's plan. He knocked Mildred out with one strike, then dragged her into the totem circle and taped her limbs down. Then he decisively took out a kitchen knife and sacrificed his own finger. Mildred was then dragged into hell. But just as Sean thought it was all over, he forgot that more than one person had died in this house. That's the end of the story. This is a movie that combines horror and comedy. Personally, I think it's worth watching. Those interested can go watch the original film. It's even better uncensored.